Fall of the Rising Hero, Chapter 2, The Night the Hero Ignited Died. The night 15 years ago, Phoenix sat on the rooftop of a local city laundromat in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. The flames from his powers flickered in his hands as he held it close to his bare chest. "Hey, Ignited, your real name is Phoenix or something, right?" asked the bulky luchador sitting next to him. "Why did your parents name you the same name as the city? They hate you or something, fool?" "Nah, I'm not named after the city," said Phoenix, staring at the little flame in his palm of his hands. "The city of Phoenix was named after me." "Ha ha ha! Funny, fool!" laughed the luchador, patting one of his four hands on Phoenix's back, almost knocking the other man over. "Hey, dumbasses!" shouted the woman in skin-tight spandex, leaning on the door to the rooftop. "Shut up! Seriously, muscle man, could you be any louder?" the woman asked the luchador. "And you, flame fuck!" She pointed towards Phoenix, who looked up from the fire in the palm of his hands at her. "Stop it with the fire. Do you want the bad guys to notice us?" "Oh, come on, like a couple of petty thieves or anything to worry about," said the luchador. "Besides, I'm fucking freezing my tits off out here," said Phoenix. "Oh, boo-hoo," snapped the woman. "Oh, come on, the Protector. Give the kid a break. His industry wouldn't even give him a shirt to wear," laughed Muscle Man, turning towards Phoenix as he continued. "But I guess your agency thought sex appeal might help you with your image problems since you insist on being a cocky little brat. Honestly, fool, how does it feel to be so low in the charts that your company has to dress you up like that to be eye-fucked by milthy Arizona housewives?" says the old man in a unitard, Phoenix retorted. "And what's with the spiky hair, huh? You trying to be one of them anime protagonists or something?" The huge muscular man laughed loudly, holding his sides with all four of his arms. "You look ridiculous." Phoenix slowly ran his fingers through the stiff gel that held his bright dyed red hair in place. "First of all, it's called anime. Second, you're just jealous because I have hair I can dye in gel, old man. First off, don't call me an old man. I'm only in my mid-30s. Second, you don't know if I'm bald. No one's seen a luchador without his mask." Muscle Man rubbed the back of his blue luchador mask with his oversized hand. "Oh, poor Muscle Man. Doesn't know when to retire when he's old and worn. You youngsters don't even know what being a hero is about anymore. Back in my days, it used to be about having heart, courage, and helping out other people in your community. Now all you newbies just think it's a fun popularity contest where you get to be celebrities and earn riches. But what's the point of doing things if you don't get anything out of it? Let's face it, you're just mad because you need to catch up with the times, boomer." Ignited stuck out his tongue. Muscle Man became so mad that his veins started to show through his mask. "Why, you little—" "Are you two quite done with your pissing contest?" asked the Protector. "I know you both don't take your job seriously, but we're not supposed to have fun." "You hear that, Ignited?" asked Muscle Man. "The Protector says fun is forbidden. Honestly, with her around, I believe we can pull that off." Both Phoenix and Muscle Man began to laugh when the alarm blared out. Ignited and Muscle Man stopped mid-laugh and looked down at the jewelry store. "Idiot boys," the Protector yelled. She summoned a big blue disc and threw it off the building. She jumped from the roof onto the gliding saucer. Her black skin-tight spandex costume allowed her to be agile while blending in with the night. The wind blew her long, braided brown hair up towards the stars as she guided down. Ignited followed her lead, running down the side of the building, leaving scorch marks as his flames sparked from his bare feet up to his coal black shroud pants. "Gee, thanks for asking if we need a ride down, the Protector," scoffed Phoenix. "Don't be lazy. You can get down by yourself," retorted the Protector. "What's wrong, kid?" asked Muscle Man. "Can't play with the grown-ups? You need someone to hold your hand?" He laughed, swinging down from the fire escape railing. "Oh, I'll show you. I bet I can get there before you can and defeat the most villains while I'm at it." Says the newbie. "I'm not only the #1 hero in Mexico, but I've been catching villains since you were in diapers." Muscle Man punched the locked door. Glass flew everywhere. The sound of breaking glass startled civilians and villains alike. One of the villains grabbed the counter clerk and pointed a gun at her head. "Ah!" she screamed, startled. Well, you better take your Viagra now, old man, because you're going to need it to last more than 5 minutes to keep up with me, retorted Ignited. Ignited sparked a small flame, reflecting the firelight from one of his golden bangles on his wrist into the gunman's eyes. Scared and blinded, the robber wildly aimed the gun out towards the heroes. The bullet flew across the store towards another civilian. The protector quickly jumped in front of the hostage, summoning a blue shield in front of themselves just in time. The bullet splintered on the shield, saving her and the pedestrian. Damn it, Ignited, yelled the protector. You gotta be more careful when there are civilians around. If I wasn't here, you would have killed someone. Well, everyone's usual reaction to being blinded is to drop what they're holding and cover their eyes, retorted Ignited. Plus, it's fine because I know you wouldn't slip up and let a pedestrian die while on the job, right? That's not the point. Ignited smiled as he fired a fireball, knocking the gun out of the robber's hand. The protector ran over to detain the now unarmed villain, pushing him to the ground. An inky black man came out of the walls behind the protector like a shadow. He readied his fist for a punch when Muscle Man tackled him from the side, his forearms pinning the Shadow Man to the ground. The Shadow Man then shifted into the ground, becoming an actual shadow, before uppercutting Muscle Man and sinking back into the ground again. Damn it! Yelled Muscle Man. What's wrong, Boomer? Smirked Phoenix. Can't capture a simple villain? I guess in America you have to actually try to get on the hero charts. No one asked you, fool! But I gotta hand it to you. It's better than the nothing charts they set up for the Native Americans. Being on the top of that chart barely means anything. Fuck you, Ignited, you jackass, said the protector, keeping the villain pinned underneath her. What would you know about taking down a villain successfully, let alone topping in any hero chart? The shadow villain then popped up out of the floor behind Ignited, ready to throw a punch, when the hero turned around, blasting a burst of fire at the Shadow Man's face. The villain took a step back before falling backwards to the tile floor of the jewelry store, passing out. And that's what I know about taking down villains. And in one hit, I don't even understand how you guys were struggling, smirked Phoenix. God, I don't know what Arizona would do without me. I mean, I did get transferred to New York recently. I leave first thing in the morning. Didn't even have to come support you two tonight. Just thought it'd be nice. Yeah, because you're known to be nice, scoffed the protector. Be grateful for the assist, because soon I'll become the #1 hero in New York. Then I'll be #1 across the world. I'll be remembered as the powerful Inferno hero Ignited, just like I always planned to be. Ignited said more to himself than to his partners. Well, one thing at a time, future #1 hero, scoffed the protector. For now, we wait for the cops to come and arrest these guys. The protector went to tie up the knocked out villain when the other one she pinned and tied up began loudly mumbling to himself. I can't go back to jail, he shook, looking around panicked. Hey, quiet villain, you do the crime, you do the time, said Ignited. The villain looked up at Ignited. The hero's eyes gave an evil glint through his black mask, as a smirk spread across his freckled face. The villain's pupils dilated, and sweat dripped out of his pores. And they're gonna put you away for a long time, Ignited added. No, I can't. How will I pay her medical bills now? I can't. I have to. There's no choice. The villain whimpered, more to himself than to anyone else. I have to do it. I have to. I have to. What the fuck are you rambling on about? Asked Ignited. Nothing you say is going to make me let you out of those cuffs. So don't you even try to negotiate with me. Guys, did we ever find out what this guy's superpower is? Asked the protector. Ignited brown eyes widened when he saw the retained villain had a huge 10-foot shadow demon hovering over him. Let the darkness consume me in my uncontrollable fear. The villain merged with the demon, sinking into the inky blackness as the monster consumed him whole. The beast then swung at the lean, muscular hero. The monster's fists connected with Ignited's bare abs. Ignited then slammed into the window, shattering the glass into pieces. but the momentum of the throw kept going until Ignited found himself slammed into a brick wall of the laundromat across the street. His back made a sizable dent before he slid down on the wall to the sidewalk below. The horned demon bashed a gigantic hole in the jewelry store wall as it let out a horrific scream that rumbled through the streets. The bystanders all scattered in a panic, some grabbing their children and clutching their purses, some dropping their shopping bags and laundry to be left on the streets. "Hey, Ignited, you okay?" asked the protector, running up to Ignited. "Yeah, damn bastard's not as tough as he looks," Ignited rasped out, wiping the blood from the side of his mouth. "Me and Muscles are going to evacuate the bystanders. I trust I can leave you to the villain?" The beast had already begun charging at Ignited, and the hero smirked, wobbling to his feet. "This ugly son of a fuck is no match for me." Before anyone knew it, the demon went to swing at Ignited again. "Not this time, you ugly fuck!" yelled Ignited. His muscular arm lit up in flames. He clenched his fist, swinging at full force. Ignited connected with the monster's fist. The monster screeched as Ignited incinerated its arm, blowing it to pieces that flew everywhere. The monster swiped at the hero wildly with his one good arm, but Ignited dodged, running up the wall of the laundromat. His whole body ignited in an inferno of flames, from his pale, freckled feet to his fiery spiked hair. He did a backflip off the wall. "Spiral of flames!" yelled Ignited, his flaming fist burning into the monster's skull like putty, cutting through his body down to his huge stomach before he landed back on the street. The monster screeched again in a low, loud rumble. "Looks like I'm a bad match for you, buddy. Your raw strength and darkness is no match for my bright flames." Ignited smirked. The flame in his hand danced around in his gleaming brown eyes. The demon then picked up a car with one good arm, throwing it. Ignited dodged and ran at the monster. The monster kept picking up things from cars to lampposts to throw at Ignited, but Ignited either dodged or incinerated the flung object, his flames tearing up the streets behind him as he passed by. When he finally got in close to the monster, he pulled back his arm, readying his next special attack. "Fire of Fury!" Ignited shouted. A gigantic fireball burst out of the palms of his hands and plowed into the monster's chest. The demon imploded as chunks of inky flesh flew all over the district, all out of control. "Shit!" Ignited shouted. But it was too late. There was nowhere to take cover. One of the many chunks of flesh hit Ignited right on his bare abdomen, throwing him back into a nearby alleyway. His head hit the fire escape, but before he could recover, a bunch of rubble that was created by the huge blast rained down on him, burying him underneath. When Ignited's eyes groggily opened again, he appeared through the rubble on top of him to see a short man in a black hoodie stuffing something into a body bag. "What the, Ignited pushed the rubble off of himself, sitting up. The hooded man turned around, staring at the sudden movement. "Ow!" Ignited rubbed the back of his throbbing head as blood dripped from his dirty scratches that were all over his bare chest and arms. Ignited then noticed the stranger, whose face was covered by a black hazmat, staring at him. What's going? Ignited's sentence began drifting off. His blurred vision zeroed in on the villain he fought earlier, back in his human form, sticking out of the body bag the hazmat mask guy had. "You're the vigilante, the villain napper," Ignited shouted, wobbling as he stood up. "Now listen here. I'm sure whatever you're doing here is righteous judgment or something along those lines. But it's not your job to pass judgment on these people or hunt them down. In fact, you should learn your place. Not everyone is cut out to be a hero. You pricks who didn't make the cut with whatever useless power you were born with actually make us licensed heroes' jobs harder to prevent this tomfuckery. So, Silent Treatment, are you going to come with me quietly so I can hand you over to the cops? or are we going to put up a fight? If you're going to fight, I gotta warn you. It sure hurts like hell to be lit up like a crispy marshmallow. Ignited smirked as flames danced around the palm of his fair hands. The man in the hazmat mask dropped the body bag to the concrete ground, slowly putting his gloved hands up over his head. That's more like it. Now let's see who's the little pissant behind the mask is. Ignited unlit the fire in his hands, taking a step towards the vigilante. That's when the vigilante turned tail and ran down the alleyway. Big mistake, buddy. It happened to be an excellent shot. Ignited aimed a shot at the slender man running down the alleyway. The fireball was a moment away from landing the hit when the vigilante ducked, swerving around the corner of the alley. He continued running, picking up the pace. Oh, come the fuck. Fine! The hero ran after the vigilante, holding his bleeding sides. When Ignited got the rogue in his sights again, he fired another fireball at him. But this time the man in the hood pushed a dumpster towards the fire user and kept running. The dumpster flew back. The smoke from the singed trash obscured the rest of the alleyway. Ignited did not see the red fence until he was directly in front of it. But luckily for him, the other side of the fence was a dead end. End of the line, fucker. The shitty chase scene ends now. Ignited raised his hand to burn the fence down when the hooded man jumped down from the fire escape behind him, with a crowbar in his hands. The vigilante hit Ignited in the back of his head with a crowbar. The fiery hero wobbled for a bit before falling to the dirty alley ground. The vigilante took his mask off to get a closer look at the hero. Phoenix? Oh, Phoenix, I knew it was you, said the vigilante. Wow, you really became a hero. I haven't seen you since you bullied me in high school. Ignited stared up at the vigilante's uncovered face. Quixotic, Ignited mumbled before passing out. The memory of that cold night 15 years ago faded out as Phoenix tried to claw at the white coat sleeve that grew tight around his wrist. The truck Phoenix was tied to pulled him, picking up speed. It didn't help as more vivid memories came into play. The white coat sleeve that grew tighter around his wrist suddenly became binds that chained him to the hospital bed as vivid memories of Quixotic, poking and prodding at him with needles, came in and out of his mind, making him queasy. Phoenix breathed heavily, shaking his dull orange hair loose from his ponytail. His vision became hazy before looking up at his caged nemesis, his eyes locking onto Quixotic's. Quixotic smiled down at him, playful, within his cage. This enraged Phoenix as he screamed, "Fuck you!" His panic replaced by pure, unadulterated rage. He reached into his sheath and pulled out a knife, bringing it down on the cloth. He cut himself loose from the truck, tumbling on the asphalt. Phoenix got one last glance at his green-eyed foe as he drove away mostly naked in the cage on the back of the truck. Quixotic smiled and waved before disappearing into the tunnel. "Goddamn piece of shit!" Phoenix yelled, throwing a rock after Quixotic. It skidded on the road, landing a few feet in front of him as the sun rose over the horizon, its golden glow bringing light to another day of this shit. But before Phoenix could throw another rock at Quixotic's general direction, the light from the desert sun settled on a piece of paper on the ground. Phoenix picked it up and read it. Ignited. You're invited to my birthday party. When? 3:26 at 11:59 p.m. Where?